We're going to change this fluorescent tube light to LED tube lights. 40 watts each, 2 in the fixture. The ballasts draw about 5 watts each. The tube lights for the LED will be 18 watts each, so quite a bit of power savings. That's why we want to do it. Now, what we're going to do is do it with the light turned on, which is not really a good idea normally, but there are some rare occasions where you don't want to turn off all of the lights in the room to interrupt productivity. So let's give it a try. Quite hot. So what we have is hot wires here. This is what's coming out of the house. So to make this safe to work on, we need to eliminate that. We're going to cut hot wire without touching any metal. And it will render the rest of it dead. Just to be safe, what I'm going to do, put a little tape on the end of it. The reason for doing this isn't so much for the speed of it, it's just to not interrupt the workflow by turning off the rest of the lights on the circuit. Okay, now that that's done, we can go and what we want to do is we want to tie all of these together and hook it to here, and tie all of these together and hook it to here. So it's pretty simple. This will bypass both the ballasts and both of the starters. I don't have to worry about anything because nothing is hot right now. Except for temperature wise, this ballast is too hot to touch. So while I'm here, what I'll do now, I'll strip the end of these. In this particular case, we'll put on a male spade connector here because I'm going to put a T-tap hot splice onto this since this wire is hot. So to do that, I'm going to simply tie all 4 of these together. And in most fluorescent lights, some of these wires from the light socket are long enough to reach the power source, and some are not. Sometimes the power source is in one end, and these only go to the ballast. So that's why I made up an extra one by pre-splicing the spade connector to give it the extra length needed to reach. And usually 1 foot is perfect. That's why I knew ahead of time how long it would be, even though I have not been in this line yet. Okay, so the other part is the T connector. You put that on. I could have cut the wire here. This is number 10 wire. This connector is made for 10 and 12 AWG wire. But since I have 12 here, I figure it's just a lot easier. So these are simply self-tapping, and since it's hot in there, I don't want to touch the metal, even though it's insulated in the connector. That should work. You just squeeze it until the little lock. That looks good. So, what we can do while we're in here, well, I don't really care because this has a cover on it. But normally you can take and cut these wires, trim it out, or you can get your screwdriver out and you can remove the ballast. But I just don't really feel like wasting the time. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to plug them in. And your little spade goes right into the T connector. And I can tuck these up here. Sockets are coming loose. So anyway, once it's all together, the bulbs go in the same way as a fluorescent light would go. These are our fancy BandaSolar 18-watt 4-foot tube light, and they come with a label on the outside with installation instructions on how to bypass the ballast and how to wire it up. A simple wiring diagram and 3-step instructions. It's really not that hard to do. It's always good to read the instructions before you assemble it, which I did. Very easy to install. And that's it. Some are easier than others. It depends on the fixture, and if it's an old fixture, you may want to consider replacing the fixture completely.